Can we stop keeping more starter than we need and then not feeding it enough to actually keep it healthy and balanced? Hi, I'm Annette, micro baker in Chicago and owner of Dough My Goodness Bakery, and I'm here to help you simplify sourdough. Welcome to a bonus episode in the series I'm calling Understanding Your Starter. I'm going to show you exactly how I do my signature stiff sourdough feeding, how I build 2 levains from it, and what to do with anything left over. All together, that is the Dough My Goodness starter feeding system. Let's go. This is my maintenance starter. I keep it small on purpose. I feed it a 1:25:15 ratio. This means 1 gram of starter, 25 grams of flour, and 15 grams of water. This is a 60% hydration stiff starter feed, and this is exactly how I keep Jane Doe and maintain her healthy and balanced every day. I like to start each feed with a new jar, so I put a clean new jar on my scale, tear it out. I use 1 gram, sometimes even less. This much is enough to keep your starter going. Sometimes it's not even enough to register 1 gram on the scale, and that's totally fine. A pea-sized amount will do. Then I'm going to add 15 grams of water and stir it up to dissolve some of that starter into the water. When you feed a stiff starter, it may not all fully dissolve in the water, and that's fine. If you stir vigorously, what you'll see is that you have a milky, kind of foamy consistency. Tear your scale, 25 grams of flour. Stir. It's going to be very thick. That's what we want. It should come together a nice cohesive dough ball. Give some time for the flour to hydrate, and when it all starts kind of sticking to itself, I pull it out, and I like to give mine a little mix by hand. The consistency that you're looking for is that of Play-Doh. It might be a little bit tacky, but it shouldn't be sticky, and it shouldn't be so dry that it's not pliable. Might feel a little bit on the drier side if you use bread flour or whole wheat flour. I use all-purpose flour, so if you're using a different flour that's more absorbent, feel free to add another gram or 2 of water. Dough ball into the jar, set on a lid that is solid and not airtight, and Jane Doe will happily sit on the counter for 24 hours at room temperature. If you're not planning to bake today or tomorrow, then you're done. Just let her sit on the counter and do her thing. If you are planning a bake, this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to show you how to build 2 levains with the same starter. Levain number 1 is going to be an overnight 100 gram levain. You build it the night before your bake. Start out with a clean jar, tear your scale, put 5 grams of starter from the same jar that I used to feed my maintenance starter. 5 grams in, I'm going to tear my scale and add 50 grams of water. Stir. Tear your scale, add 50 grams of flour. Stir. After you mix it up, the sides might be a little bit messy, so I use a rubber spatula, just clean up the jar a little bit. If you keep a stiff starter, the reason you want to make a levain that is a 100% hydration is because most recipes will call for a 100% hydration starter. And if you bake directly with your stiff starter, that will throw off the hydration of your loaf and can alter the results of your bake. Cover her up, leave her at room temp overnight, and in the morning, she'll be ready to bake with. 100 grams is typical for most single loaf recipes. So tomorrow, I'll be ready to bake this up. Levain number 2 is a same day levain. I want to bake later today, and I need 250 grams for my bake later. I'm going to use a 1:3:3 ratio. The overnight levain that we just mixed up is a 1:10:10 ratio. I did that on purpose so that it takes all night to ferment, so it doesn't rise and fall while I'm sleeping and acidify too much before I'm ready to bake. And since I'm going to bake today, I'm going to use a lower ratio of my levain so that it's ready when I need it. So I'm going to start with 36 grams of starter. That ended up being most of what I have left in the jar. Tear your scale, and next is 107 grams of water. Stir it up. Tear your scale and add 107 grams of flour. Stir. Clean up the sides. Solid loose lid on. She'll be ready later today. Now, as for anything left in the jar, I compost mine. My daily feeding amount is so small that to me, discard is just not worth keeping. It's not worth the mess, the refrigerator space, or the fuss. And I honestly prefer to use active starter in any of my discard recipes. So into the compost it goes. My signature stiff starter feeding, 2 Lavons ready when you need them. That is the Dough My Goodness starter feeding system. And if you want help dialing in your starter or your Lavon situation, book a consultation with me. DoughMyGoodnessBakery.com or find the link in my bio. Happy baking.